everybody. We're back. Last night, almost 30 million people watched as my next guest lost on the final episode of The Apprentice. Come on, he's a runner-up. Please welcome The Apprentice runner-up, Kwame Jackson. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I said you lost, but you think about it, you made it so far that you probably feel still very good today.
Yeah, close but no cigar, and now just focused on really trying to be real commercial about this thing and, you know, make it into a business.
Ah, very good.
You know?
Maybe you shouldn't be so upfront about that. That's right, Conan, trying to convert it all into cash as quickly as possible. Well, let me ask you first of all a question that everybody wants to know today is, thinking about it today, do you think Omarosa, the fact that you hired her to help you on your team, do you think that cost you at the end of the day? Do you think if you hadn't hired her, you'd have won?
I think that's a possibility, but I think really, you know, that was probably just a convenient excuse for Mr. Trump. I think he had probably already made up his mind.
Really?
Yeah.
But Omarosa was really like a stick in your spokes. I mean, that was bad, and there's so many scenes where you think she's just screwing it up for Kwame, and I think a lot of people were pulling for you.
Yeah.
There's no resentment there? There's no anger towards Omarosa?
No real resentment. I mean, basically, the way I think about it is Omarosa tends to live her life a little bit in the reality TV matrix. She's kind of like Neo. She needs to unplug from the matrix and go on and, you know, stop creating this false reality. But, you know, I just...
So you're saying that she's insane?
That's a good word. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Okay, let's put it this way. If you could get in a time machine, and I'm building one, would you go, and you had to do it all over again, would you hire her for your team?
If I had to do it all over again and I could have it my way, I would have hired Katrina as the next pick.
Okay.
But she had already been picked, and so I went with Big O.
Yeah.
Big O.
Oh, cool. Now, you did something that I thought was very risky, but something I would have tried myself. In one episode, you flirted. You get to meet Trump's girlfriend, and you're flirting with her. You look like you're trying to make time with Trump's girlfriend. This is a guy who has an army of gold robots. He can push a button at any second, and they can come in, and you're gone. Well,
I was captivated. I mean, I don't know if you've ever met Melania, but she walks into a room, and it's just like, you know, if you're a heterosexual man with half a brain, you're just like, whoa. And so...
well, I am a heterosexual man.
With half a brain.
With half a brain.
And you're like, whoa, no flirting, just, you know, polite
So there was
conversation.
nothing you could do. You had to flirt a little bit. You just had to.
I was compelled.
Were you at all worried? Did you see Trump eyeing you, and did you feel any tension?
Well, it was me, Trump, and Burnett, and he leaves me with Melania. He goes and talks to Burnett. He's like, keep my girlfriend company. I'm like, I can do that.
That's a mistake. Yeah, okay. You must have so many people watch this show and got emotionally involved in it. You must have strangers coming up to you for the last 5, 6, 7, 10 weeks and giving you advice. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, great advice. One of the greatest stories on that is essentially I was at a pizzeria about 3 in the morning after, excuse me, coming in from the club, and there were 2 guys standing there, and they're like, oh, you look a lot taller on television, than you do on television. And I said, what's up? And they were like, well, you know, in the lemonade stand, here's what I've done differently, blah, blah, blah. And they started talking about the party promotion business. And I was like, oh, you guys must be promoters. You're giving me advice on lemonade sales. And he goes, you know what, bruh? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a hustler. And I said, and if you know anything about anything, the man sells drugs. Right, so I was like, okay, drug dealers give me advice on lemonade sales as like it shows that everybody's watching the show.
I would bet a drug dealer would have good advice.
Yeah,
I would have listened to him. Yeah. Probably do a great business. You're getting your lemonade from the wrong place. You got to get it from South America. Now, I think a lot of people notice that there's a lot of time on the show where you're hanging out in the loft.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of alcohol. Yeah. Am I imagining that? There was a lot of booze in the loft. Every time they cut to you guys in the loft, there's drinks and there's alcohol in the back. You see it everywhere. What's going on?
Yeah, well, you know, it's all, you know, I guess a ploy because, you know, booze plus, you know, attractive women equals ratings. So, yeah. You know, I think that's what they were going for in that.
So you're having booze, you're hanging out in close quarters with attractive women, which begs the question, why did you hook up with Troy? Troy, you got all these beautiful women around, and you and Troy were like, Troy,
I'm going to go ahead and come clean. Troy and I are going to apply for a marriage license in San Francisco.
Very good.
So it will be working out for us.
We'll be there.
We'll be working out.
This crowd's behind that. Yeah, Troy was actually sitting in our audience
Oh, really?
the other night. Yeah.
Oh, the other night, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring out a special guest like, I love Fast.
No, we don't have the skill to pull off a stunt like that on this show. I understand good news. You did not win the big prize, but you got a job offer last night that I'm told is worth more than what the big job was offered last night.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I was at the Trump party, headed to my after party, and one of my fraternity brothers calls me and goes, "You will never believe who's waiting for you and has been waiting for you for the last couple hours at your party." And I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "The billionaire Mark Cuban who owns the Dallas Mavericks. He's waiting for you to come hang out, and he wants to offer you a job." I was totally flattered. Wound up hanging out with Mark Cuban, great guy, and looking forward to hopefully doing something productive.
Wow. So this is a real job, right?
Real job. I mean, he's a straight shooter. He's a good guy, but I mean, you know, I don't know how often that happens where, you know, a billionaire just kind of hangs out for you. He's like, yeah, is Kwame around? You know,
Yeah.
So that was great. It was
What
great.
if it's for a Dallas Mavericks cheerleader job? Take it.
Is a cheerleader coach or?
No, actually cheerleader.
Cheerleading?
Yeah. You and Troy, the outfits, it could be fun. Something weird happened last night that I need an explanation. Towards the end of the show, Sam makes this weird, he stands up and he says, "Mr. Trump, I'm going to offer you $250,000 to hire me." And he opens up this suitcase and it looked like it had $250,000 in it. And then what's weird is Trump takes the suitcase and says, "I'll think about it." But then I think Trump kept the suitcase. And I think Sam is out. I don't think and now I know how Trump became a billionaire.
Exactly. Classic Trump, you know?
He's just like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll talk about the job someday."
Totally.
What happened? Is that real, that moment?
It was totally real. Sam had this silver briefcase, you know, the entire time during the taping, and, you know, everyone's like, "What's in the briefcase?" He stands up in the middle as soon as the Q&A starts, and he goes, "I'd like to present you with this Samsonite briefcase with blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, Samsonite better be paying you, Sam.
That's probably it, then.
Totally.
Samsonite
Totally,
probably
you know.
put up the money for it, as long as he said Samsonite.
Oh, totally.
And then he said, and then we can go get some Taco Bell. Did you see that?
He's speaking in all commercial language.
Yeah.
Right?
He's lost his mind. Well, you know what? I thought you did a great job, and I do think you come out a winner. You're extremely likable. I think everyone in America was like, "We like that guy," so you're going to go far.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Stay right here. Kwame Jackson, everyone will take a break when we come back. Jim Gaffigan's here. Stick around.